can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, Indian commentator suggests a rather bold step regarding India and Pakistan face-offs in cricket here on. Could that be the way forward? And is Pakistan not shouldering the additional responsibility that comes with being a part of a marquee clash in the sport? Cristiano Ronaldo puts up a social media post that has internet buzzing again. What does this mean, and why is this standoff between Ronaldo and Saudi one of vision rather than an ego battle? And looks as if Russia is trying to find its way back into international sporting fold after FIFA boss batted for them. The IOC seems to have thrown in a subtle hint too. But will the rest of the world, including the athletes themselves, welcome this reversal? But first, the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, India's under-19 side has stormed into the Junior World Cup final. The five-time winners beat Afghanistan by 7 wickets in a record run chase. Aaron George's 115, Vaibhav Suryavanshi's quick-fire 68 and captain Ayush Mathre's steady 62 helped India chase down the 311-run target with over 50 balls to spare. This was the highest chase by any team in a knockout match in youth ODIs. India now gets set to face England in the big final tomorrow. On to football, Manchester City have entered the League Cup final. The Blues beat Newcastle 5-1 on aggregate. Omar Marmoush scored a brace to help his side beat Newcastle 3-1 in the second leg. City will now face Arsenal in the final. Over in tennis, India's Yuki Bambri has climbed to a career-high world number 20 in ATP doubles rankings. He's become the first Indian since Rohan Bopanna to achieve this feat. The 33-year-old has consistently reached deep in tournaments. At the Australian Open recently, Bambri reached the third round with his partner Andre Goranson. And news from the NBA, Toronto Raptors narrowly fell short against Minnesota Timberwolves in a high-scoring clash thanks to Anthony Edwards' 30 points. Timberwolves beat Raptors by 128 to 126 points. And summing it up with the Asian Championship, India's Isha Singh gave India a golden start by finishing first at the 10-meter air pistol event. The 21-year-old scored 239.8. Meanwhile, double Olympic medalist Manu Bhaker failed to make a mark as she finished 7th. The T20 World Cup is just hours away, but the biggest talking point isn't form, fitness or favourites. It's politics. Pakistan's drama refuses to die down. Their Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has now personally reiterated the country's stand. Pakistan will not take the field against India on the 15th of February. And while Pakistan claims this is about backing Bangladesh, in reality, they are simply turning the biggest match in cricket today into a bait. And that is exactly why experts like India's commentator Sunil Gavaskar is now suggesting a radical solution. A move that could completely change the landscape and business module of world cricket. Now, every global tournament comes with pressure, but for the ICC and cricket fans, the recent events come with something else. Drama, political posturing and last-minute threats. And it isn't just boardroom chatter, it is coming straight from the top.
We have taken a clear stand regarding the T20 World Cup that we will not play the match against India. We are with Bangladesh, and I think this is the right and proper decision.
Now here's the irony. Pakistan has repeatedly claimed that politics should stay out of sport. But who is leading this boycott narrative? Is it the PCB chairman? Is it the team management? No, it is the government. That is where the real problem lies, because Pakistan says they are backing Bangladesh, but in truth, they are just using the India clash as bait. Look at the timelines. First, Pakistan demanded neutral venues. The ICC agreed. Then came new conditions, new threats, and now a full-blown boycott. And what does this achieve? Nothing really. It only creates uncertainty. It disrupts scheduling. It hurts broadcasters and other cricketing nations who are invested in the sport. And it damages a tournament and its planning. And it punishes fans. That's the worst of it all because one board, or rather one government, wants to keep the spotlight on themselves. And that is why former India captain Sunil Gavaskar has proposed a solution.
This could well be the time that the ICC decides to go ahead with the draw as it is, without looking to specifically club India and Pakistan in the same group.
Now let's look at the bigger picture. For decades, India and Pakistan have been placed in the same group because it is the biggest rivalry in cricket. It guarantees record viewership consistently, massive broadcast revenue, huge turnouts, global attention, the world watching, and that money doesn't just benefit the two nations, it funds associate teams. It helps smaller boats survive. It drives cricket's global growth, so there is nothing wrong in banking on the biggest matchup in sport. But with that privilege comes a sense of responsibility. And for years, despite political tensions, ICC and India have tried everything to honor that commitment. Matches were shifted to neutral venues, scheduling was adjusted, security was tightened, everything possible was done to ensure this match took place and went on smoothly. But has Pakistan shown the same kind of diligence and consistency here? Not quite. Instead, we have seen repeated disruptions, from administrators running off with trophies to constant boycott threats to political interventions at the last minute. And that raises a simple question. Should the rest of the world continue to depend on a fixture that may or may not happen smoothly? Because when one team is committed and the other keeps creating obstacles, it only hinders the entire process. So maybe the time has come to stop engineering India versus Pakistan clashes. Let the draw be picked. Let the tournament run its course without any political baggage. If they clash in the playoffs, it will come down to merit. Because cricket cannot just keep adjusting itself to suit one nation's political mood swings. The sport deserves stability. The fans deserve stability, because even if Pakistan takes the field against India here, everyone will be asking, was it worth all the drama? Because if one team keeps turning the biggest match into a bargaining chip, then perhaps the biggest statement is to take that match away altogether. Football legend Cristiano Ronaldo's standoff with Saudi Arabia is getting bigger, it's getting louder, and proving to be a thorn in the side for the Saudi Pro League. What once looked like a perfect marriage between a global icon and an ambitious football project is now turning into a public power struggle. And while tensions continue to simmer, Ronaldo's latest training post has once again set the internet ablaze, fueling fresh speculations about his future in Saudi with the time ticking away. The oil-rich kingdom has a decision to make now, because this isn't just about one player. If Ronaldo walks out, it won't just hurt Al Nassr, the club. It could shake the entire Saudi Pro League project. So the big question here, why does Saudi Arabia need to calm this storm and do it quickly? When Ronaldo moved to Saudi Arabia in early 2023, many called it a rebound transfer. It came right after his explosive and very public breakup with Manchester United. So to many fans, it looked like the beginning of the end. A fading superstar cashing in on oil money. But what followed shocked the football world. Ronaldo didn't just join the Saudi Pro League, he transformed it. He became its global face, its marketing engine, its biggest symbol of ambition. Today, even a simple training post from Ronaldo has created chatter across the internet. The reason this latest post is making all waves is because Ronaldo is seen training in Al Nassr's jersey. Now, this could be an old clip or a fresh one. But the message is this: Ronaldo reminding Saudi Arabia that the league still revolves around him. Because let's be honest, recent developments have not been great PR for a country chasing football legacy. Ronaldo refused to feature for Al Nassr in their last game, and his availability for the upcoming clash against Al Ittihad remains uncertain as well. And at the heart of this standoff is money, and more importantly, how that is being spent. According to reports, Ronaldo is miffed at the disparity in investments between the big clubs under the Public Investment Fund. And numbers, they don't lie. Al Hilal has outspent every other club by a massive margin. The gap is more than $250 million there. And in the most recent window, the disparity became even more stark, as you can see. Al Hilal kept spending big. Al Ittihad followed. Al Ahly invested as well, but Al Nassr barely $500,000. And for a club who has carried the league's global image on its shoulders, that is bound to cause friction. Ronaldo didn't just join a club, he rebranded a country's football image. He became a diplomatic asset, a walking advertisement for Saudi Vision 2030, and the unofficial global ambassador for the 2034 World Cup dream. He was that cultural bridge, the face that smoothed it all, connecting European football culture with the kingdom and its norms. The commercial impact was massive as well. League revenues surged, broadcast deals expanded to over 150 countries, 150 nations, and Al Nassr's Instagram following exploded from under 1 million to over 29 million. So let's be honest, Saudi Arabia has extracted far more value from Ronaldo than just goals and assists. But this story isn't about money and marketing, it's about mindset. Ronaldo didn't just bring fans and the eyeballs or even growth, which is tangible. He brought his vision, he brought with him his thinking. He ushered in a new era of self-belief. Since his arrival, Saudi clubs have stopped behaving like underdogs. They now see themselves as contenders. At the FIFA World Cup, for example, the Club World Cup, Al Hilal went toe-to-toe with global heavyweights. That psychological shift, that comes from having someone like Ronaldo in your league, from experience, from having Ronaldo in your locker rooms, interacting with the players, and then, of course, there's the emotional impact. There was a moment where AFCON winner Sadio Mane was seen asking Ronaldo to guide the team from the sidelines. It was eerily familiar to the Euro 2016 final when Ronaldo, injured, stood on the touchline coaching, shouting, inspiring Portugal. That is the aura he carries. That's the impact Ronaldo brings, which is exactly why this standoff is dangerous for Saudi football. If Ronaldo leaves on bad terms, it sends the wrong signal to the rest of the world. To future signings, because if the biggest face of the project feels undervalued, what message does that really send out to everyone else? Saudi Arabia wanted credibility. Ronaldo gave that. They wanted global attention. Ronaldo delivered it. They wanted legitimacy. Ronaldo accelerated it. Now the question is simple. Will they protect that investment or risk watching it walk out the door? Because Saudi didn't just buy a player here when they signed up Ronaldo. They invested in one of the biggest stars of the sport, who comes with his vision, who comes with a voice. So there is no way they can ask him to forget all of that entirely. So Saudi Arabia has a choice here. Build the league around their biggest star, understand his vision and move forward with it, or risk losing the man who built their global identity in the very first place. It looks like something's brewing because after FIFA boss Gianni Infantino strongly suggested the re-inclusion of Russia, bring it back to the fold after the expulsion, the IOC seemed to be softening their stand too. That's two of biggest sporting bodies indicating a shift in sport dynamics, one that has been altered some years ago when Russia invaded Ukraine. Is Russia going to find its way back to international sport? And if so, will the rest of the world quietly welcome such a move that doesn't only include the other nations who are divided in this matter, but also athletes who have been embroiled in this standoff and have become collateral damage? Russia has been a sporting pariah for some years now. Sentiment was high after the 2022 attack, and needless to say, that resulted in Russia being cast out. It's a move that's affected their athletes the most. Athletes who were forced to play as neutrals, no international competitions, no tours, just a few matches strewn about, and basically a sporting culture that has been gasping for breath. Well, until now. Russia has been thrown a string of hope, all thanks to FIFA boss Gianni Infantino, who rather vehemently and openly spoke of how it was time to move on and, oh yes, get Russia back into competitive sport.
This ban has not achieved anything and has just created more frustration and hatred. Having girls and boys from Russia being able to play football games in other parts of Europe would help.
Now, that statement is bound to have multiple ramifications, but before I get to that, let me give you the full picture of what could have possibly spurred on this change of heart. Remember what happened some months ago? A very important call between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. And one of the things that came out of that was ice hockey. USA and Russia would resume sporting ties via this sport, a shared passion, quite obviously. It was a move that put Europe on thin ice, but Trump would have none of it. A parallel story of romance that has been brewing is one between these two gentlemen on your screen, Trump and, of course, FIFA chief Infantino. And we've all seen enough evidences of that play out in the last few months.
Mr. President, this is your prize, this is your peace prize, medal for you that you can wear right now. Okay, let me hold. Fantastic. Excellent. This is the certificate. It's yours.
The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina, and here it is in the Oval Office in the White House. Can I keep it for you?
That bromance had to have some influence, surely. So this olive branch FIFA seems to be offering Russia comes as no surprise. If Europe seethed at the ice hockey development, Ukraine is bristling at FIFA's latest suggestion.
Gianni Infantino's words sound irresponsible, not to say infantile. War is a crime, not politics. As long as Russians continue killing Ukrainians, their flag and national symbols have no place among people who respect values such as justice, integrity, and fair play.
That is strong language, but clearly that reaction doesn't seem to be gaining much ground because things have only gotten a little more intense. Because just a day after FIFA's bold show of renewed commitment towards Russia's sporting interests, came IOC's subtle hint.
We are a sports organization, and that means keeping sport a neutral ground, a place where every athlete can compete freely. It is what allows the Olympic Games to remain a place of inspiration, where the athletes of the world can come together and showcase the best of our humanity.
There is, of course, no direct reference here. There is no open promise like Infantino made, but the message is clear enough. Sport can't be influenced by political wars, and that ought to give us all some indication of what we can expect come the next Olympics, which happens to be in Los Angeles. But are these authorities denouncing one crucial factor here? What do the athletes feel about all this? Athletes who were forced to toe the line of their governments when the war began are still reeling from it all, still carry the repercussions and the anger that has spilled from the war. Now look at what happened just last week, in fact. Belarusian Arina Sabalenka played Ukrainian Elena Svitolina in a Grand Slam semi-final, and there was no handshake after the match. That's what ground reality is, and a decision like this has implications among its athletes and other countries who are equally invested in this situation. How will the head of a governing sports body or like the FIFA or IOC be able to navigate all of that? And what art of persuasion can possibly appease this situation is what will be interesting to watch play out. Time for last serve. The Winter Olympics are underway in Italy, and while sports is a massive attraction for the visiting fans, China's house in the city is grabbing eyeballs. And the star attraction there, it's a dancing robot. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.
Want the facts?
The latest developments?
News that gets straight to the point.
Well, we've got all three just for you. This is Firstpost Live, a brand new show, your window into what really matters.
Don't miss it.